Good morning, YouTube, and welcome to my channel. My name is Maya, and today is July 12th, and it officially marks the end of the first week of my 6 weeks of foundation building. I am posting on YouTube mostly as a record for myself and to keep myself accountable, but I hope it inspires somebody else to get out there and start. It doesn't have to be fancy, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just get out and start, and the rest will kind of fall in line. Prefacing all of this with I am not a doctor. I have no medical expertise. I have no qualifications as an athletic trainer or a coach or anything of that nature. I'm just going to be sharing what I do. I might give some reasons behind it, but again, it's kind of only my opinion, and I am the test subject. All of us are different. So don't take what I say as you should do this too, unless it's getting out and going for a walk, because I think everybody needs more sunshine away from a computer screen, as ironic as that sounds. A little bit of background on me. I am in my late 30s. I am a full time engineer. I work pretty regular hours during the week. I also have a 14 and a half-year-old dog, and I have a 4.5, 5 month old puppy. There they are in the background. Currently, I'm only running about 8 to 10 miles a week. I need that to increase drastically. I'm also doing about 4 days in the gym per week. I still really love strength training and really want to continue and grow in that aspect. I have 16 weeks until an event that I really want to be prepared to run in. That's why I've kind of split it up a little bit. These first 6 weeks, I'm really just going to focus on building that base. So I don't want to bump up mileage too fast because I don't want to get injured. As I said, I am in my late 30s, so I don't bounce back quite as well as I did when I was in my 20s. So that's why I picked the 6 week block. My three main goals with this first 6 weeks is one, to develop consistency and stick to a routine. Right now with the puppy, it's kind of harder for me to um, do my workouts immediately when I get off work, because the puppy does require a lot more playtime, a lot more activity than the 15-year-old does. So, which is really fun, but it does create a bit of a challenge. So just I've only had the puppy for like 2 weeks. So it's just creating this routine and trying to develop a routine around him and getting my training in that works for us and allows me to be a really good pet parent. So, one, develop consistency. The second thing is I really want to up my mileage without injury. So, because I'm only running max 10 miles a week right now, I don't want to drastically increase that to where I was before, that 20 to 30 mile per week range. Reason number three is I want to continue to work on losing weight. It's really part of it is aesthetics, but the other part of it is just I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel good. And I've really noticed that my runs have slowed down a lot, as one would expect if I'm not running as much and I've put on weight. It definitely makes it a little bit harder. I also have had an ACL surgery on one knee, and that additional weight just puts a lot more pressure on that joint that I would love to relieve so I don't risk another injury. So currently I am running, like I said, about 10 miles a week. I have switched from a mile based to a time based training plan because my mileage is so low right now. My miles are slow and it's like a billion degrees outside. So I would rather work on time on feet than getting X amount of miles in. Doing a set time also really helps me schedule out my time a little bit better. I do have an idea of what it would take me to run a certain amount of miles, but having a set time limit right now is kind of the best. My runs are aerobic for the most part. I do a lot of slow-ish miles. I do one speed session a week. I do one speed session a week, but most of my running right now is a 3-to-1 run to walk ratio, because it is so hot where I am. So I'm just trying to do the best that will allow me to run the time I need to run without completely wiping myself out and not being able to do anything for the rest of the day, which is really important. For strength training, I'm going to the gym 4 days a week. I have 2 upper days and 2 lower days, and it's been really nice. I love the gym. I love lifting. I love lifting heavy. I love strength training. So a lot of my gym time is still very much like bodybuilding esque workouts. I have added some more functional movements, just to build, the muscles that you kind of need for trail running. It's really important to be able to move with the trail, with the uneven terrain and things like that. So a lot of what I'm doing is incorporating more core, more multi-muscle movements and things like that. I thought about this a little bit, whether or not I wanted to go into like my current stats, my weight, my measurements, whatever, my calorie intake, whatever. And I think I'm not gonna do that quite yet. I just don't think it adds anything, and I don't think it really matters, because at the end of the day, those numbers are something that I look at and I need to be aware at, but they don't really impact anybody else or add anything to the story. Maybe eventually I'll talk about calories and nutrition and stuff, but again, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. I don't have any qualifications. So what I'm doing for me is on the heels of years and years and years of understanding what my body needs and understanding how to manipulate calories. But a lot of it is just experimentation, and it takes a while to see an effect. And that building that consistency is what helps you gather data to make changes. So that's the intro. The next part of this video, let's go into a recap of week 1. But to do that, I will probably take you out on the trails with me and we'll just talk about it out there, because I'm kind of tired of sitting behind a desk. So see you in a few. So I just got done with, I guess, my long run technically, but truth be told, I was supposed to do about an hour, 55 minutes, and I ended up just doing an hour because I went earlier and did about an hour and a half of pretty high intensity tennis. So I feel like my legs are about done at an hour. But I sort of thought about not coming out, but to be honest, that felt like a cop-out because tennis was hard, but part of this training is getting out on trail. So that's what I'm doing. Got some really cool shots that you saw before this of deer. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them here where I run. So yeah. So this week, kind of a recap. I hit my gym sessions. I didn't hit all of my runs necessarily, but I still managed a workout every single day. There were a couple days that I was gonna try to do like a 2 a day, like a lift and a run, and just didn't have time with life, but I got at least one of those done every single day. So that was the goal, really, to make sure that I was at least doing one workout every single day, even if I couldn't get both of them in, because the point, right, is to build a foundation. So happy with that. The runs felt pretty good. Like I said, it's been really hot, even with, like, especially with the trail runs. It's always an interval thing because it just is. And it's a slower workout out on the trails. But like I said, I did about an hour and I'm walking the little ways back to the car right now. But overall, it's been a good week. And I'm happy with how week 1 has ended. I think one of the things that I'd really like to make sure that I add in for this next week is just 10, 15 minutes in the mornings for some mobility and stretching while the puppy is running around the backyard. Because I think that also, as I ramp up things and as I continue with my consistency, I feel like that's one of the things that's really going to help me not get injured. So that's it for this week. And I would love down in the comments for you to tell me if you have any goals or anything you're working towards. And I would love to hear updates every week on your progress. And yeah, just let me know how it goes. It'd be really fun to see people that are also committed to just kind of doing a base building along with watching all of, the professional athletes that I love to watch. I have a lot of FOMO about the mountains and being in the mountains and things like that. So, okay, well, I appreciate you watching and I will see you guys next week. Bye.